There we go. It's recording now. Okay, you guys, thanks for being on here. A lot of people can't be on here today, but we really wanted to record this. It won't be a super long call, but we're starting something new today. We're surprising you guys. So let's just jump in. Right now for Team-Wide, what we're doing Team-Wide is just working our hind ends off toward that iPad. And we have two people that I know have signed 5. Judy Hoke, who I'm not sure who her sponsor is. She's under Tammy's leg, I believe. Yeah, you're muted. So Judy Hoke has signed 5. Rhonda McCoy has signed 5. There's a lot of people with 3, 2, 1. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. I had 3 people that told me they would absolutely positively be ordering this past weekend, and 2 already messaged me for reasons they can't. The 3rd one hasn't yet. So I'm still very hopeful. I want that iPad. And I don't know if y'all know this, when I first started back in 2014 was the last time they did an iPad giveaway. And back then you had to have 8. 8 people had to sign up. And I can't remember if it was customers, ambassadors, or whatever. But that's where we're at right now. We're trying to win an iPad. We still have that $300 up for grabs that all of our senior rubies and above on Team Freedom went in together. Something I thought about, convention is still right around the corner. I want to talk with Tammy and Lisa about doing some sort of meet and greet in Vegas. And me and Tammy will do that because we want to be able to get together, everybody that's going to convention, to get together and at least have, some time, because convention is so crazy. On the horizon, we still want to do our October retreat in the woods again. So there's a lot of exciting things. If I freeze, let me know, because I usually don't come to people in my office. I usually don't do a Zoom in my office, but I'm trying to. I'm not frozen, am I? Okay, good. I dropped the ball on the John Maxwell book. I pulled it back out. I dropped the ball during Aunt Tammy's Emerald Push because I just was thinking about one thing. But we'll pick that back up today with chapter 3, and I'll screenshot and put pictures. I really want us to finish that, so I'll pick that back up. Anything else anybody want to discuss before we move on to something else about this month? Any questions? I know Tammy's team signed a whole lot of people last month, so if you're on her team, you're really just trying to develop relationships with all these people and get them ordering again this month. And time will tell. I hope they do. We're going to see what happens. Anything, Tammy, you want to share anything about that, what your team is doing specifically to try to get these people that signed last month qualified this month?
Yeah, I think just really honing in on what you just said, building the relationship, making sure they're seeing results with the products, making sure they're taking them correctly, things like that. And then just really talking to them, planting those seeds about getting to silver, getting the products paid for if they're a wholesale buyer, getting them to the first rank if they're actually wanting to work the business. And this is such a great month to do it with the extra codes that they sent out for the new people. So it's like, there's no reason why a lot of these people, or most of them, can't stick around.
Absolutely. And talking about codes, I actually have 6 extra because I messaged all my wholesale ambassadors and asked for their codes. And I had one person that responded to me. It's a lady that used to be a business builder that told me last year that she wasn't going to do it anymore. She was one with another company, but she was going to keep her auto ship on for products because she loves our products. So she messaged me her 6 codes last night. So if anybody needs any free codes, I have 6.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I had 2 to order the $199 welcome pack last month. So I don't know if they will reorder this month because, of course you always start out slow, with the products. So what would that, how are y'all doing with that? How do you go about getting them to order the second month after they've ordered the $199 welcome pack?
I would personally, this is what I would do. I would check in with them to see where they are at in products and ask them, if they plan on ordering. And I would explain to them, if they want to make money on their orders, they have to have 100 come through their website. And I would explain it like that and say, all you need is 100 to come through your website. So if you don't need products by the last day of the month, do you have a best friend or family member that want to do this with you? and that would get them qualified.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
basically all you
Uh,
can do. You can check in, see if they, because you're right. I mean, if I did a $199, you're not really going to add anything to that. So if they don't need products, I would just explain to them and put a positive spin on it. I really want you to be able to be qualified this month, so you're eligible for commissions. Even if you don't need product, do you think maybe somebody want to be your accountability partner this month?
Okay. Well, and then I have one girl that ordered last month, like right before, and Rhonda signed her up. So I really don't know the conversation that was, because I was in the hospital whenever we signed her up. So, but she's gone cricket on. I mean, she's silent. She's not answering any emails, any texts, any calls, or nothing. I'm hoping she's still on the product. I'm pretty sure she ordered the $199 welcome pack, so I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have that sitting.
And that's bad when you can't get them to respond back and they're supposed to be taking products.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what.
See,
I don't know what her conditions were. I don't know anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rhonda did this. The really good thing about when you sell those $199 welcome packs is make sure the expectations are up front that you're going to be contacting them. Look, my number one goal is for you to be successful. So I'm contacting you at 3 days, at 7 days, and then after that, once a week to make sure you're doing okay, and just let them know up front that you're going to be contacting them. If you've done all that and they still won't respond, then there's nothing you can do.
Okay.
Another thing you could do is check back and say, hey, and just check in to make sure that you still have plenty of products. If they say, yeah, I do, and I'm going to, because I would be happy to help you order. And if they say, no, I don't need it, then you could say, well, I've been thinking I would love to help you get your products paid for. Would you be interested in that? And then that way you can introduce silver to them. And that in turn would qualify them for the month. But I would start reaching out. See, most people joined that last week of February. So I wouldn't start reach outs this soon. Right now, what I'd be doing is check-ins for products.
Okay. Yeah.
That order to reorder, I'd wait till closer to that last week when they would be, starting to get low. Probably the 25th, 26th. Because if they ordered that last week, didn't get their products to the last day of the month or the 1st of March, then you don't want to stuff products down their face, but you want to absolutely check in. Okay. Anything else?
You.
You're welcome. That's a real good question. Okay. Tammy and I wanted to do something fun for the next few months, and we're going to have a little segment on Mondays, and I think we're going to call it, and Tammy, we may change the name, but it's going to be called, tentatively, Polishing Jewels. Polishing jewels. What in the heck is that? It's basically things that we don't normally talk about, that we wouldn't talk about on the team page, that we would talk about to people that are gold and above, that are working toward making this a business. So it's super business specific, and it's not things like IPA or signing. We know how to do that. We know how to do IPA. It's just mindset thing. Just doing it, sitting down and doing it. IPA training, my goodness, you can Google any video you need. So we want to talk about some fun stuff that's specific to becoming Jewel or going to your next rank. And it's just some really different things that is more on the professional level. Because sometimes I think we start Plexus and a lot of us start it more of a hobby and we don't really know what we're doing. That's me. I started as a hobby. I had no clue what I was doing. When I look back at some posts I made, and some reach outs I did to people that were like 10 paragraphs long, and some pictures I put out and some videos I did, I just cringe. So hopefully we've learned some things along the way. So we're just going to spend Monday mornings, Tammy and I, covering about 3 things a piece that we think is very beneficial towards people like us that are building a business and have never done anything like this before. So maybe it's some simple things that no one's did a video about, but if we did it and all did it together, it would make us more polished toward being a future Jewel. So the first thing, and you would be surprised, y'all, how this is really important, and it's not something we talk about a lot, the importance of your profile picture on Facebook. You would be shocked the amount of times over the past few years that I have had people that won things, or either that I wanted to do shout outs to, or I wanted to make a graphic of top leaders, and I would just go to their Facebook page to grab their profile picture, and it was a picture of a monkey, or it was a picture of a flower, or it was a picture of, I don't know, Donald Trump. I don't know. It wasn't them. And I had to like scroll through their Facebook pictures trying to find a picture. And sometimes I couldn't find a picture of just them. You know, it might be a picture of them and a grandchild or them and their husband, but not them. We are business women. And just as a businesswoman would have their face on a website, or would have their face on a billboard, or would have their face on a real estate sign, or would have their face on anything like that, we need our face on our storefront, and that's our Facebook page. I'm not even joking about this, y'all. You cannot imagine how difficult it's been over the years just to find a simple picture of people that are supposed to be building their business. So I want to challenge everyone. This doesn't have to be expensive, but I challenge everyone to have some really pretty headshots made and use that as your profile picture. If you want to feature your family, feature them on your banner. And I had heard this one time from Catherine Jones. She said your Facebook profile picture needs to be the same for a while. She says, you know, you get a good picture and you keep it up for 3 months, 6 months, a year. People associate that picture with your business. Your banner cover can be changed more often. So your banner cover can be changed if you and your family have a beautiful photo shoot, or you're your husband, or you want to use a great quote. These family photos and quotes and things like that don't need to be your profile picture. Your profile picture needs to be a beautiful picture of you, that people can look at that and associate that, oh, she has a business. Look how professional that is. That's a great headshot. And I'm not saying to go spend a ton of money. The last ones I had made in my back deck, and my friend that's photographer made it and charged me $50. So it doesn't have to be real expensive. I've never did anyone's, you know, I've never spent hundreds of dollars. I probably need to. And, but just make it a pretty picture. And I would love to see us all do this. And although you might not think it's that important, it really is. It really is. So that's tip 1. Already covered tip 2. Your banner can be changed more often, and your profile picture needs to stay the same for a period of time. But don't make it hard for us to find your picture when we're trying to do shout outs to you, really. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is your office space. You need a place where you do business. That's why I have this space. It needs to be pretty. And I know a lot of you have an office space. If you don't have an office, make it a corner. I know Rhonda McCoy has a corner. She just has a corner, but it's her corner. And before I had an office, I had a corner in my den. And it was just my desk, and it was a board. It was this over here. Let's see if I can show y'all this. That's like my little pin board of pictures and things I pray for. So I think when you do that, you wake up in the morning and you have or in the afternoon, whenever you do business, and you think more like a business owner if you have a space, rather than you just have things just spread out, just topsy-turvy all over your house. So I really encourage you over the next few months and to make it a priority to get your space or your office. You're a business owner. And that way, and this will kind of segue into what Tammy's going to talk about. She's going to go over doing some Zooms and things like that, some more things. And how more impactful is it when you do a Zoom with your team and you're coming to them from some sort of place of business. This is my place of business. So I hope those tips were helpful. And Tammy's got some tips too. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go off the heels of what Datha just said and leave a couple tips on like when you're doing Zooms for your Facebook audience, so not your team, not on your team page, but just doing a live. I know a lot of us are starting to do more of those on our wall. It's intimidating. It's scary. I get it. I've been there. I am still there at times on, wanting to make sure, first of all, I say what I really came there to say. Bob Heilig in Legacy Leaders, when I was doing some of his training at the beginning of last year, he talked a lot about if you don't captivate your audience within those first few seconds, they leave. They're not going to stick around to watch whatever it is you have to say. I believe it was like the first, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but it's like split seconds, first 12 seconds or something of your video, and they're swiping on and going to check out something else if it's not captivating their attention. So what do you say and what do you do in those first few minutes? It's super important. One of the things that I wanted to touch on is how you're holding your camera, because if you're doing an angle that's like this, automatically, does that look appealing? I would say no. It makes it look like I have a double chin, like I've got a wonky, those mirrors like at the Children's Museum you step in front of and you're like, you're all distorted. That's kind of what it looks like. But if you just take your camera and if you don't actually do it, like this right here is eye level to me, but if you just take it up just a smidge, it makes all the difference. Now, is that not like way better versus this? What about if I did a video and I'm like way out here? Yeah, they're doing like this. So really, how you hold your camera, how you position your hair, what your shirt's doing. Thank God this right now is just in our little private group. But seriously, you guys, it makes a huge difference when you're trying to captivate the attention of your Facebook wall. Holding your camera at the right angle can make the world of difference. They're going to immediately say, well, I don't know what she has to say, but if she's trying to promote anything, she can't even hold her camera right. I'm not sticking around to hear what she has to say. I mean, it sounds silly, but it makes a big difference. And I got that tip from the pro, Bob Heilig. That didn't come from Tammy Bertrand. But I will tell you, since knowing that, when I do my videos, even for the team, I've learned and I've trained myself to at least be eye level. So for example, I did a Emerald meet and greet a week ago tonight for my team. And it was just on my team page. And it was about, the road to Emerald. And it was a little bit about my story for those that have joined recently and hadn't heard it. But you guys, obviously you guys know that I'm still recovering from surgery. So I wasn't able to sit down and do my video. So my son helped me rig up, and this is hilarious, but I did it all because I wanted the angle to be professional and as good as I could get it to be. So I was standing in front of my TV cabinet, which is right there. And we rigged up a step stool on top of that with my computer on top of the step stool so that it would be at the right angle for my camera then, or my computer then, to sit there, and so that I could do this for my team. Now, some of you may look and shake your head and think, oh my gosh, that is ridiculous that she would go to the extreme levels to try to make that decent. And it's only going to be on her team page for her team to see. Who cares? What's it matter? It does matter. These things that Dave is talking about, polishing jewels, everything that you do puts you in line for becoming that jewel. I started dressing the part, acting the part, doing the part of what a jewel looks like in corporate and what a jewel is supposed to represent, this amazing company and these amazing products. I'm not going to go haphazard when I am promoting and representing something so exceptional and something that is so above the norm. So I started being that jewel, visualizing that jewel, dressing that jewel, being that part long before, February 27th, 2019. So that's why we're bringing these things to you guys, because you're going to be a jewel. You wouldn't be here and you wouldn't be a gold ambassador if you weren't going to be a jewel. You're going to be a jewel. So accept that and accept all these little things that come with it. And that's why we're sharing these. So while these things seem a little petty or a little stupid, a little whatever you may think, they are very important. So I can't stress how you hold your camera, how you dress when you're behind that camera, what your hair's doing. You got to clothes that have stains on them and holes in them. That's not representing your company well. It's not representing your business very well. Again, having that business mindset. So that's my number one tip. Smile, be you. Those are some other things that we can add in there. So I'm going to move on to my second thing, and that is creating team culture. I think by the time you're a Jewel status, definitely by the time you're a Ruby, senior Ruby, you should have already been cultivating or creating or making what is going to be your team culture. What does that look like for you and your team? I think across the board, there's a lot of things that are just uniform. Every single Jewel could probably say the same thing. My team does this, my team does this, and it would be very similar. At the same time, your team may be a little unique and it may stand out and be a little bit different than somebody else's. But what I'm basically talking about is, in order to have good duplication and a firm foundation, I think it's super important that you're creating team culture even as a gold ambassador. So what are some of those things? Number one, team support. Commenting on your team members' post is super important. Not just wanting them to come and make sure they're supporting you, but make sure you're returning the favor and commenting on them. And on that note, when you have a post and team members or not team members come and make a comment, make sure you comment back to them doing that, because I think that's super important. Bob Heilig talks about that too. To keep your post in the feed, it's super important that there's engagement going on. So if somebody comes to your post and says, wow, that's an amazing testimony, don't just go click the like. Actually click the like and make a comment back to them saying, gosh, I thought that was amazing too. I just had to share. Say something. Number one, they're taking the time out of their day to comment on your post. Surely you can comment back to them. And the best thing you can do for your newsfeed is to keep that post up. Otherwise, it's just going to trail down and nobody's going to see it. So you're helping yourself too. And you're responding and engaging with that person, especially if it's a non-Plexus person. You really want to engage with them. That's why you put the post out there. It's for engagement. The second thing is recognizing your team when they rank up, not only through a wonderful post that, like Datha says, you go and grab their profile pic. Make it amazing. Make that post stand out for them because they just achieved something so grand. Your post for that person recognizing your level 1, your level 2, if it's an adopted, whatever, your post showing them that you appreciate the hard work they did, because guess what they did just increased your business, right? So not only are you going and commending them and applauding them and giving a shout out to them so that your team sees it, so that their team sees it, they just did something for you. So taking time to make a really good graphic and a really good write-up, recognizing them for what they did, I think is a great team culture. And I think most of us do that really well. But definitely recognizing them through rank gifts, making sure that you gift them something. Obviously, they just contributed to your pocketbook. So you can take $25, $30, $40, $50 by the time they're a Ruby, senior Ruby, and really recognize that ambassador for their rank up. Obviously, we know cards and shout outs on the team page and all those things are super important as well. The second tip on creating really good team culture is events. We talk about that a lot, getting to events. You go, they will go. So leading by example, you have to get yourself to these events, whether it's corporate, whether it's a local sip and see, a convention, doesn't matter what it is, but going to events is huge in creating your team culture. And the third step on team culture is set up as a leader, setting yourself up as a leader to be seen. What do I mean by that? Any and every opportunity you have to show your team that you are leading, you need to step into that and do it. So for example, if Datha or I or anybody says, hey, could you lead a Zoom call on our team just for a few seconds, talk about what it meant to go gold? Run with that opportunity. Your team needs to see you lead. And that's the best thing you can do as a leader, is to step into those leadership roles. They need to see you on Zoom calls. They need to see you doing book clubs. They need to see you doing any and everything that you can as a leader and growing into that position. Guys, leadership is not something that just happens to everybody. It's not something that you're just everybody's automatically born with. Sometimes we've got to develop that, and everybody can. Everybody can develop these leadership skills. And by the time you're a gold, senior gold, Ruby ambassador, definitely leading is the best thing you can do, stepping into that role. And the last thing is creating a brand. And I'm only going to spend a second on this, and then I'm going to attach it to just a tiny bit of homework. Creating a brand is super important, especially by the time you're a dual ambassador. This is something I very strategically have worked on, especially in 2018, and that's creating my brand. I don't just post anything and everything that Plexus ambassadors put out there on my wall. I'm very picky about what I put on my wall. You need to have a brand that people identify you with. For me, that is my family and faith. If you go to my wall right now, you're going to see, you're not going to scroll down very far, and you're going to see something about my family, something about my faith. Another thing that is part of my brand is inspiration, whether that is through a really good inspirational testimony. It might be through an inspirational post or a passage out of a book that I've seen, or a quote, something along those lines, but something that inspires other people and that is influencing others to maybe live a better life, a healthier life, whatever it may be. And then the third thing that I post a lot about, and it's become part of my brand, and that is my home decor. It's something that I love doing, I'm passionate about, and I like sharing that with people. And so that's kind of my niche. You can go to Datha's wall. We all know what that is. What is hers? Hers is going to be her family and her faith. Her daughter, she talks a lot about Sophie and her dancing or her cheering. And what would you say your third thing is, Datha? I feel like you've got two things.
Just adding value through inspiration. Pastor's wife. Yeah.
So you should have something that is creating a brand, and that's really all you need to post about. It's not something that you should be posting about things all over the whole spectrum of 10 million things that you can post about. Create a brand to where people identify you with those things. So if you have trouble figuring out what that is, ask your closest friends, ask your spouse, ask your girlfriend, come here, ask us. I bet we could help you identify what that is if you're not real sure. So your tad bit of homework, and then I'm done rambling, is to figure out what your 3, maybe 4 things are that you feel like is your brand, or that you could on a regular basis post about, and put it here in the Elite Chat group. I would love to know what you think your brand is. And then, like I said, if you have struggles in figuring that out, we'll help you out. So that's all I have today.
That's awesome. And to just kind of tag what the homework Tammy had, someone really wise told me this one time. They said on Facebook, underneath your picture, you can type out something. I don't know what that's called. And she said, whatever you type out there should be what the things you talk about. So mine says worshiper, mom to 3, wife to Jason, health and wellness advocate, reader, friend. So those things that you post there, or what you say, that's your brand. That's your brand. And this is how important this is, y'all. My new level 1 who went silver before she even started the products, guess how we connected? Through Sophie. Sophie and her son go to school together at Hueytown Elementary. I've been at Hueytown Middle School. And so she had followed me because of that. Her son Chaz knew Sophie, and I had no idea she was watching me. None. So that brand matters, whatever you decide. And I could look at a lot of you and just pick your brand. I mean, mom to 3 under 4, Kayla. I mean, you need to follow Catherine Jones, because she puts that's some of her brand. Part of her brand is that. Bethany,
Okay.
Catherine's wife. I mean, boom, you've got that going on. So, and the same thing with Angie. Christy Crail. Christy, you need to tap into your children's sports and really post a lot about that. And we're going to be talking a lot more about branding later, because we could talk about this for a couple of months. It's that important. But let me just go back and just do a little follow-up. When Tammy was talking about commenting, when people go to your thread and comment, and you comment back, a thing I like to do is ask a question in those comments, because you'll see me do that a lot. Like somebody comments and says, that's an awesome story. And I'll put, it was, right? Wasn't that the best story you've ever heard? ? Because if you get a comment going, if you get a conversation going underneath your post, that's going to bump it up in people's feeds way more. So that is super important. Never missing an opportunity to lead. This is even if your team doesn't know you're doing it. This week I was asked to do a call for Kim, a sideline friend, and boom, was on it. Make sure I had it. So that's good. And the last thing is when Tammy talked about making those good graphics for shout outs. It doesn't have to be for just a rank. It could be for something else that you see a team member do good. Y'all, when I first joined, I had no clue how to make a graphic. I went to YouTube and I Googled how to make graphics and learned to use WordSwag and learned to use PicCollage. Had no idea. So this is part of your business. Part of your business. Tamara Holloway makes amazing graphics. So I'm like, okay, she's my leader. She's my upline. She makes amazing graphics. I need to learn how to do that too. So I'm just telling you this because it's something you have to intentionally learn to do. So if you don't know how to do it, make that on your list of things that you need to learn how to do this month is make good graphics. Let's be really intentional about being the best. We're talking about business, being the best business woman we can be in Plexus. And that's why we're talking about things like branding and graphics and leading, is because y'all have proven and you've shown by showing up here on the Leaders Call on Monday morning that you want to build this business. And we want you to have this business. So thank you for allowing us to share. I'm super excited going forward about learning to build our brand and different things like that. The call is recorded, so hopefully everyone will watch the replay. And I will post John Maxwell, I think it's chapter 3. We're on here, so we can pick that back up. Let's pick that back up, and let's make it our goal by the end of spring. I think this week is the first day of spring, right? I'm almost positive the first day of spring is coming real quick. So I wanted us to do at least 4 books a year. So let's try to finish this one in spring so we can go to another one. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for being on. Love you. Thanks for making a priority while you're cleaning and Kayla's at work.
Yeah.
I mean, I need Kimberly to come to my house because it looks like she is like, come on, sister. Thank you for being on sick, Bethany, and not feeling well. This matters. Y'all are showing up, and that matters. Love you guys.
Don't forget your homework. Don't forget your homework.
Tammy, can you stay on a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Bye, Kim.
Okay. Bye. I'm trying to
Bye, Christy.
Bye. Bye. Hey, call me later,
I'll
Tammy.
message you. I will.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
Bye,
end this. I'll
Kayla.
just call you.
Huh?
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna end this.
Okay.